Ladies and gentle nuts. Y'all, I've tried to avoid making this video, especially during the election, but it's over now, so I'm afraid I can delay no longer. And with that disclaimer, sup y'all, it's me, Squirrel Girl, aka The Problem, at least for this particular video. And we're back with yet another hot, very hot take that's probably going to get me in a lot of trouble, but which I feel needs to be talked about anyway, and that is reproduction rights. Buckle up, guys. We're going in guns blazing, and I am not holding back, so seatbelts on, keep your hands inside the vehicle at all times, and make sure you keep your trays in their full upright position. It's going to get bumpy. So here's the deal. The entire debate is sexist and a perfect example of yet another double standard in today's society perpetuated and maintained by women. To put it bluntly, parenthood has become a kind of choose-your-own-adventure exclusively for women, while men are handed a one-page contract reading, "Congratulations, you're a father. You have no say in the matter. Pay up." And here's the fundamental absurdity of that stance. Barring rape, which is its own separate subject and therefore unapplicable as a counter-argument to this one, we are talking consensual sex here, consensual being the key word. We've reached an era where a woman who knowingly and with full understanding of the possible consequences thereof can engage in the one activity biologically designed to create children, but if she doesn't like the outcome, gets to hit a legal undo button, while a man engaging in the same activity gets told, unironically, "Should have kept it in your pants, dude." How the hell is that fair? If keep it in your pants is an acceptable directive towards men who don't want children, then keep your legs closed or you've a right to swallow is an equally acceptable directive to women, right? All things being equal, either both sexes are held accountable for their reproductive choices, or we acknowledge that what we're really advocating for is female privilege disguised in pretty pink packaging as bodily autonomy. Don't believe me? Let's look at the Olympic-level mental gymnastics going on here. First of all, you've got the great responsibility mirage, where when a man impregnates a woman, he's held fully liable for his actions, but when a woman gets pregnant, suddenly, like a gym membership she forgot she signed up for, it's totally optional. And how is that justified? With the old "her body, her choice," a catchphrase which manages to redefine equality to mean choice over obligation, with women getting all of the former but none of the latter, while men are stuck with all of the latter and none of the former. But wait, I thought this was about equality. I thought men had all the privilege here. That's what feminists say. To quote Murray Povich, that's a lie. Second, we've got the conundrum of consequence or convenience, which I've decided to call pick a lane. Case in point, the phrase, "if you don't want a baby, you shouldn't have had sex," which is overwhelmingly only ever directed towards men. Us ladies, meanwhile, get an entire buffet of get-out-of-jail-free cards, including but not limited to abortion, adoption, and safe haven laws. Men, on the other hand, get shit. No opt-outs, no take-backsies, and while they can certainly sign away their parental rights, they're locked into 18 years of financial responsibility, whether they want the child or not. So to clarify the rules of engagement thus far, if a man doesn't want the baby, too bad, you should have been more careful. But if a woman doesn't want the baby, well, she shouldn't have to suffer just because of one mistake. She's got her whole life ahead of her. It's cruel to hold her to the same standard as men, even though women have been screaming about wanting equality for the last, 6 decades. And third, we have the legal lunacy of this entire affair. Under our current laws, a woman can unilaterally decide whether to keep a child, yet a man who had an equal part in its conception has zero say in whether he becomes a father. Imagine applying this logic literally anywhere else. You and a friend both go out, you order food, the waiter says, once the food arrives, only she gets to decide whether you eat, but you still have to split the check, bill, whatever. Or you sign a contract with a business partner, but only they have the right to cancel it. You, however, remain legally bound. Sound fair? No. But then why are we pretending it is? But wait, y'all. It gets worse. How worse? This is the part where you're going to need your seatbelt, so here goes. In the 1993 Kansas Supreme Court case, Hermerson versus Sayer, it was determined that a woman is entitled to seek child support from the father of her child, even if that child was conceived during a criminal act, i.e., rape. Yes, you heard that right. Our justice system really looked at a teenage boy who at 16 was sexually abused and raped by his 20-year-old adult female babysitter and said, clearly the victim should be held financially responsible for the child he had no legal ability to consent in making. Yes, let's do that. That makes sense. Are you freaking kidding me? To summarize, you've got a minor who cannot legally consent to sex, being held legally liable for 18 years of child support payments to the woman who raped him, proving once again that fatherhood is obligatory even when motherhood is a full-blown frickin' felony. I mean, can you imagine the outrage if the whole situation were reversed? There'd be riots in the streets, and rightfully so, but I digress. In conclusion, reproductive rights, as they're currently being framed in today's discourse, are a study in contradictions and downright sexist to boot. If women want the right to opt out of parenthood, fine, but men should get that same right. Conversely, if men are legally obligated to be fathers, all things being equal, women should be legally obligated to be mothers. As women, we either need to acknowledge responsibility is a two-way street or admit we're advocating for a world where equality actually means whatever benefits women in the expense of men. And that, my dears, is not feminism. That's female privilege with better PR. Well, guys, if you made it all the way to the end, I hope you're at least half as upset as I am. And if you didn't, there's no point in addressing you because, well, you're not here. I can't wait to hear how horrible I am down in the comments. But to all my followers and fellow nuts, thanks for listening, and I'll see y'all next time.